Hi, hello, and hi, Benny guy. How are you? Sounds good. Fantastic. I woke up late today. Was definitely overslept a bit. Because it's springtime. Do you guys find like springtime? You usually just want to have an extra sleep. Like springtime is the time that you find it hard to get up. Like, do you guys feel that? There is a poem in Chinese called 春眠不觉晓, which means that spring is a time that you find yourself particularly hard to get up. And also, there is some other saying that but throughout the year, you still feel very sleepy all the time. In Chinese, we say 春困夏乏,秋打盹,冬眠. Like no matter what season it is, you just always feel like sleepy. Yeah, but springtime is extra sleepy. I don't know why. Spring is also the time that you definitely would feel it, find it more, how to say, more likely to get allergic to many things because spring is just the time that everything starts to grow, right? When everything starts to grow, you start to grow as self, like different the cells in your body also starts to grow. And because all the different cells are growing, those allergic cells might also grow. So as a result, because of all of that, you know, you will just find it harder to get up. Finally, the best live on TikTok. Thank you, my friend. Actually, springtime, I jump out of the bed to hear the birds. So, serenade in the sunrise. Really? How beautiful is that? And having this problem of wearing this necklace. I should just take a look at it. Yeah. Why is it so hard to wear a necklace? My goodness. Hello? Yeah, Poland everywhere. Yes. Looks like in some places people have a bigger allergic problems than others. Like in your countries, do people have a bigger allergic problems than other countries? Like for example, I discovered that New Zealand people have bigger problems with like allergic problems more than other countries because somehow they have like more flowers, like pollens everywhere. Are you allergic to anything? And also we discover like somehow like more Westerners have like allergic kind of a body compared to Chinese people. Like very easily when you see a new babies, like this new babies will just have some allergic problems, allergic to eggs, to pork, to whatever. Like here in China, Chinese baby are just feel like tougher. Okay, guys, pretty much prepared everything. It's because Kiwis wish they were Aussies. Martin, you're so funny. I'm allergic to bees. Wait, how come you say you're allergic to bees? Like, when the moment you see bees, you start to become allergic or what? Okay, let me see if I could sit up taller. Ah, ah. Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, this looks nice. I like this necklace. Beautiful. This is so beautiful. I never realized it. My very first time wearing it, but it's like so beautiful. Yeah, okay, somehow, guys. How are you guys? Yeah, yeah, again. So, people, if you have any questions about China, this live stream is about talking about the culture difference between East and West. Okay, not only culture, well, actually everything between East and West. So if you have any questions, like on this paper fan, you have any questions about China, just feel free to send it in to the comment area. Okay. So I would definitely pick up good questions and answer them and strike a great discussion in the live stream. Okay. So this is the whole purpose, like you see anything about China. Okay, anything about China, if there is anything you're curious about our country, about our people, or you just want to discuss some culture difference or some like differences you already know, something you really want to know more about kind of topic, just leave in the comments area, okay? Just leave in the comments so that we would be very happy to discuss it. Sometimes some questions that I don't know about, I'm pretty sure there are other Chinese friends in the comment area who know about these questions, the answers to these questions, and we can discuss in depth. Okay, my friend? Yeah. So anything about China, okay? Of course, before that, I would also, before answering the questions, I would also set up a topic for the day. I would also set up a topic for the day, which is for today, like education. So we were supposed to discuss about that yesterday. Somehow, because someone all of a sudden raised the question about like price comparison. So yesterday was all about price comparison. We did lots of price comparison yesterday, and that's why like today, if no, unless that there are some specific questions that I find it very interesting that we could continue discuss about that. Otherwise, I'm gonna discuss about education, okay, which is considered to be a very very big topic, my friends, a very big topic. Yeah. So, uh, yeah. So first of all, welcome any people in here. Uh-huh. Is China so great? Why are you speaking English? What do you mean? What's the relationships between China and Vietnam? I don't know. Yeah, let's see. What's the okay. I have my friend from Argentina. So we have literally people from everywhere. I found your account this week. Keep up the great work. Great, Gordon. Great, Gordon. Gordon, just so you know, I usually would have my live stream from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. China time every day. So which is usually start from 15 minutes before now, okay? 7:30, which is now is 7:45. So usually I would start at this around at this time to do a live stream, okay? I would also make interesting posts so that you guys can, well, there are many things that I cannot share in the live stream that I'm just going to share them in the post. So definitely follow me, okay, my friends? Definitely follow me to know more about those interesting topics that we can discuss. Okay. Yeah, so education. Education is a very big topic. Just so you know, when it comes to education, the East and the West can be so, so, so different in terms of many things. Like when we talk about education, we can start from education about babies, okay? Babies. So, for example, like in the West, okay, we definitely need a lot of interactions, okay? That definitely need a lot of interactions. So we have previously done a survey in the live stream asking like how many people who are already married, plan to have kids, or already have kids. It looks like a majority of the people in this live chat are above the age of 30s who are already married or have children or plan to have children, whatever. So, or at least you have experienced the entire education process, right? So this topic could actually apply to all the people. Yeah, so that's why we say that, for example, when we were talking about like education, very very small babies, so the East and West can be so different. For example, right now in China we start to see a tendency of starting early education to young babies, and well, that actually costs a lot of money to the parents. So for example, for some of the young babies, like parents would actually send them to lots of what we call early education classes. Like, I'm not sure, like in your countries, my friends, do you guys would send young babies to classes? For example, like literally those classes are just for babies to have fun and to play. For example, I've seen my, you know, I've seen my my friends to send their kids to those kind of early education, you know, classes. Basically, the kids are just gonna, for example, swim and also just gonna play some like beans, just try to touch different kind of things. And also sometimes like the teacher would just sing the songs, and that's pretty much it. However, these classes are like really really costly, potentially would cost you, for example, for once 1 month, like 10,000 yuan, which is 1400 US dollars. Like super super expensive, but somehow like people in here would just send their kids to do that. Yeah, so like in your country, what's it like? But I feel like overall speaking, like for example, for me, I feel like many of the children, especially in Europe, when they were little, basically they just have a lot of time to play around. It's not the same as nursery school. because the kind of classes I was talking about are usually also the kind of classes that, parents will go together with the babies. Like parents also need to attend the classes together with the babies, because those are the classes that encourage babies to have more interaction with the parents. And these are like really costly, but somehow like many parents would just go. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. When from grade 2 until master degree, I went to school in 9 countries. So really, look at. Well, what do you find? How do you feel like going from different countries to attend school? So you must have made lots of friends from different countries, but somehow, I mean, like for a young child, like every time you have to switch schools, that must be, I don't know, just you have already finally made friends. You're very happy to hang out with your friends, and all of a sudden, your parents need to move, and you need to move to another country and make new friends all over again. Don't you find that my parents were with an embassy, so we travel a lot? Yeah, but what do you feel like? If I feel like if I were you, I would feel like always very sad whenever we have to move, right? Like even though parents have to travel, and it was a great eye-opening experience to meet people from different countries. However, yeah, it was definitely hard, right? Yeah. Why is your population dropping? That is a great question. Okay, so the population is definitely dropping for obvious reason, because we are a single child generation. Okay, that this also links to, this is a great topic because this also links to education. Okay, yeah. So my friend who called dog asks like, why is our population dropping? So the thing is that, just so you know, like my generation are the single child generation, but the generation above us are never single child. The reason why our generation becomes single child is because China is having a blowing population. Right back then was back then China had this problem of blowing population. There were simply just too many people in this country, and when you had too many people, what happened? Not enough resources to be allocated to people. And if the population continued to grow like this, there is no way that the country could be built at the fastest speed. Grow The country could grow at the fastest speed, right? As a result of that, there must be some policy in place to control the population, to make sure the country's population could grow at a speed that the development of this country could grow at a faster speed. So that's the reason why we had single child policy. However, what happened when you start to have single child? Definitely the speed of population increase would decline, right? Previously, like for each fat parents, each household, they would have like at least 4 children, right? Many had even 5 children, sometimes even 10 children per household, per parents. However, when a topic today is about education, okay, the east-west education difference, that's the major topic. However, even though that is a topic, if you guys find any topics interesting, if you have any questions about anything, just send in the comments, okay? If there are some questions, some topics that's considered to be even more interesting than the topic that we're discussing right now, we could definitely switch topic to the topic that you guys propose, okay, my friend? Yeah, so, okay. Okay, period. Teach everybody about China, Korea. Thank you, Alexa. Welcome, my friend. Yeah, I'm not a teacher, my friend. I'm not a teacher. Yeah, so so that's why like we start to have like the single child policy, and that's why the population starts to grow at a slower speed. However, the first initial intention of having single child generation was to have a slower population growth. But what eventually happened is that when you start to have this single child policy and our single child generation grow up, once we grow up and we grow up in the family environment that every one of us were the single child, were taken care very good care of, that we were told that we should place ourselves first in front of many other things. Then when we grow up, we no longer take the family responsibility of having a lot of children, and the family responsibility of getting married to be the most important thing, right? Unlike the parents' generation, they would feel like when they reach certain age, it's their obligation to get married, to find someone to marry, and to have children. and to build big families. However, to our generation, like many people don't feel like getting married is something they must do. And as a result, when they don't get married, what happened later? They don't have children. So overall speaking, you start to see the population growth gets a little slower and slower and slower. So overall speaking, right now China starts to have this social problems or social phenomenon that not enough people are getting married and not enough people are having children. And for those people who plan to have children, they start to have children at a later age. So very much just like the West, right? I have previously made a post, my friend, right? I previously made a post like sharing about the leftover women phenomenon here in China. And I also did a bit of research. For example, in the Europe, the average marriage age in the Europe is around 32 to 36. So that age is definitely considered to be like really late for Chinese like traditional thinking. So the traditional thinking like women should get married around the age of 25. That's a traditional thinking in China. How about US? So the average marriage in age, the first marriage age in US is around 28 years old, or definitely above 28 years old. Yeah, guys, tell me. Okay, so for those of you who are already married, tell me which age were you when you get married? At what age when you got married, my friend? For those of you who already married, just tell me in the comments, when did you get married? At what age did you get married? Yeah, could you please tell me? Well, first of all, tell me your gender, and second, tell me at what age when you first got married, your first marriage age, your gender and your first marriage age. Yeah, gender and your first marriage age. Because like the first marriage age for different gender would also be different. So let's see, what's your gender and what's your first marriage age? Yeah. And for those people who are not married yet, also tell me, what do you think is the ideal age to get married? Okay. So your gender and what's your ideal age to get married? No matter how old you are, what do you think should be the ideal age to get married? Okay. For those of you who are not married yet, have been married 3 times, really, right? You must have lived a very amazing life to have been married for so many times. But I wish you find someone who you are happy with and spend your entire life with. Yeah. So like so for those of you who are not married, just tell me, what do you think is the ideal first time marriage age? Okay, for those of you who are not married. For those of you who are already married, tell me which age, at what age did you get married, and your gender. So for those of you who are not married, tell me like around what age do you think considered to be the ideal age to get married? Okay, my friend. Yeah. Okay. So looks like many people are saying that consider like around 25, 20, 25 to 35, right? 22 from Poland. I am man. Wow, that's definitely early, my friend. Yeah. So nowadays, like I feel like there, no matter in and it's in China, in Europe, or in the US. I'm not sure for other countries, okay? Not so familiar. If you're from other countries, could definitely share so that I could learn more about your country. Okay. However, overall speaking, I feel like the kind of age for marriage is relatively speaking like later for developed countries compared to developing countries, right? Developed countries have a later age to get married, and as a result, get a later age to have kids. So the education problems become very different. So like I said, like we were talking about the kind of education problem of single child, right? So back then when we grow up, the kind of education we experience is that, hey, we're the single child, everything of ourselves comes the first, right? We're so important, so that's why like, okay, when we go grow up, that we should always place our own happiness to be the most important. If marriage isn't something that could make us happy, then there's no rush to get married. Or I could just simply not get married at all, or having kids, right? That's a problem. And when we have kids, the single child generation start to have children. Also, very interestingly, you start to see lots of content creators making videos of themselves taking care of their children in a way that even though their children are their children, the children take care of the parents instead of the parents take care of the children. That is definitely a very interesting phenomenon that we are currently seeing in China, my friend. Yeah, yeah. Age for first child is rising. But which country are you from, my friend? Which country are you from? Yeah. You meet a woman at 24, 3 years dating, get married at 27, looks okay. That's the kind of general thinking. However, the problem is that when you meet someone, you don't go according to the plan, right? It's not like, oh, I meet someone, I'm gonna date him or her for 3 years and then we get married. It's never like that. It's usually I meet someone, I thought about dating him or her for 3 years, but after 3 years, you guys broke up. Or like, oh, I met someone, well, actually, we should just date for 3 years before we finally decide to get married. Somehow we just, you know, get married very soon, maybe after 6 months. I have a friend, Chinese friend, okay? So what she did is considered to be absolute crazy, according to the Chinese tradition. She's always a very legendary woman. So basically, what she did, so she went to see. Well, have I actually told this story in the live stream before? I don't really remember. I don't really remember. Wow. Somehow, I have this amazing friend. Okay, so her name is Jennifer. Okay, let's just say Jennifer. So Jennifer was a very amazing woman. She's actually the kind of woman that really changed me. Many people consider myself to be an absolute extrovert, like extrovert in many ways that I really like to talk to people, never shy about anything. But Jennifer is really the person that make me feel, we should open ourselves because she is the most outgoing person I have ever seen. And she's never the kind of person who's shy about talking to people, always very brave to go out and meet people. So what she did is that she went to see a fortune teller around 2000 and, well, 16 2016. I still remember back then. Yeah, I am telling the story, Monkey, about my amazing friend Jennifer. So Jennifer went to see a fortune teller in the year of 2016. I still remember. After she went to see this fortune teller, we had a hot pot together. In Hong Kong, there were altogether 4 girls of us. And she was like sharing with us what the fortune teller told her and was like pounding on the table, complaining, like, well, why was that happening to me? Everything like that. So when she went to see the fortune teller, so basically the kind of techniques that fortune teller uses is tarot cards, the Western system, okay, not the Chinese yin yang, I Ching kind of system. So she went to see this fortune teller, and the fortune teller asked her, hey, do you want me to do fortune telling for the next 10 years, or do you want me to do your fortune telling for the next 1 year? And also, you need to tell me what are the questions you want to ask me. Jennifer said, I wanted to know when would I be able to meet my Mr. Right and finally got married. She's very eager to get married. Back then, she dated so many different people, literally just every different person every night, like because she was so eager to get married. And she said, like, fortune teller, please, please tell me, when would I get married? So the fortune teller said, okay, we could do this like this. We could do fortune telling for just 1 year. We could also do fortune telling for 10 years. Wait, okay, let's pause it here. So if you go to a fortune teller, would you want to do like 1 year fortune telling, or do you want to do a 10-year fortune telling? The difference between 1 year fortune telling and 10 years fortune telling is for 1 year, you're just going to see like what are the people you're going to meet for the next 1 year, what would happen for the next 1 year. For 10 years, that's going to be like what happened in the next 10 years. So the fortune teller actually gave a warning to her. So there is a likelihood that my fortune telling result would tell you that you probably would meet no one, no Mr. Right in the next 10 years. And if the result was like that, many people would find this result to be super harsh. They couldn't accept it. Are you able to accept a result like that? If the tarot cards basically just said that you're not gonna be get married for the next 10 years, you're not be able to find a Mr. Right for the next 10 years, would you be able to accept that? So after given a warning by a fortune teller, guys, would you still choose to do a fortune telling for 10 years, or do you choose to do a fortune telling for 1 year, my friend? Like, you want to do fortune telling for 10 years, type 1. If you were Jennifer, if you only do fortune telling for 1 year, type 2. Okay, 10-year, type 1, to 1 year, type 2, my friend. Yeah, if you were Jennifer went to see a fortune teller, and fortune teller say, I could do fortune telling for 10 year, I could do fortune telling for 1 year. However, for do a 10 year, there's a likelihood that I probably would just get you a bad luck for entire 10 years, which means that you probably wouldn't be able to meet Mr. Right for the entire 10 years. Are you able to accept that? If yes, we're gonna go with 10 years. If not, we're going to go with 1 year. So if you were Jennifer, type 1 if you would choose 10 years, type 2 if you would choose 1 year. 1 year, type 2, 10 years, type 1. What would you guys choose? What would you guys choose? Let me see. Let me see your result. Yeah. Let me see your result. 10 years, type 1, and 2 year, type 2. Yeah. Okay. So there are many people just as brave as Jennifer who said 10 years. Jennifer to say that's fine. Well, so she secretly told us it's like if the fortune teller said she's not gonna meet Mr. Right, for the next 10 years, she would just not believe in this fortune teller. Just basically treat this fortune teller as a liar, as someone who doesn't know fortune telling at all. So she bravely just chose like 10 year, right? Many people also chose 10 year, right? Typed 1. That is terrific. Yeah. So Jennifer also chose 10 years. She said, go on, just continue. That is fine. Just say 10 years. I'm going to see. Okay, so I want you to do this. I want you to do a fortune telling on me for 1 year, for 10 years. Like, when would I meet my Mr. Right? And also, I want you to do fortune telling for me to see what's my career path be like. Jennifer was also a very ambitious woman back then, very eager to see what her career would be like. So, this fortune teller actually told three things to Jennifer. She told three things about Jennifer. The first thing is that Jennifer, in the next 1 year, you would have a big promotion. Okay, you would have a big promotion. And second, when it comes to career, okay, career promotion. And the second thing the fortune teller told her is that at the end of next year, you would have an opportunity to go to a country that is far from where you live. You have an opportunity at the end of the year to travel afar. And the third thing is you will be able to meet and finally get married to your Mr. Right 2 years later, the year after the next year. So the fortune teller basically told her the three things. And then when she came back to have dinner with all of us, hot pot, she was like pounding on the table, like, wow, I'm only got married after 2 years. I can't wait. I'm so eager to get married now, something like that. I can't wait to meet my Mr. Right. I want to get married now immediately, something like that. Mary Jennifer should go to date and marriage. Oh, trust me, no talk. She went to all the dating and the marriage platform. So back then, also like when we were doing training, right? All the new joiners went training. In the first year when we first joined our firm, so everyone was asked to, write down in their profile what's one app, their favorite app, and what's the app that they really recommended. And Jennifer just wrote Bumble. Do you guys know Bumble? Have you guys ever heard of this app called Bumble, my friend? Which is a dating app. Or maybe you guys just can type in, welcome to Morocco, my friend. I've been to Morocco. Yeah, I had a very life-changing experience in Morocco. Yeah. So, guys, how many of you guys have heard of dating app and also use dating app? Or what kind of dating app have you used or have you heard? Just type the dating app here, okay? Let's see. What's the dating app you guys have heard or have used? Just type the dating app, the name of dating app in the comment. Let's see what are the dating apps people have used or are still using. You use Facebook as dating app. Really? How come? How come? Only know Tinder. There are a variety of different dating apps, my friend, nowadays. Like in China, there are also like a variety of dating apps. Yeah, there are so many dating apps here in China as well. Like, what are the dating apps you guys have used, have heard? Have heard about dating apps? Like 社交软件那些那个交友相亲软件. Have you guys heard of any? Yeah. Have you guys heard of any like dating apps? Wow, oh my god, you guys haven't heard about any dating apps. Really? Okay, for those of you who are still single, try dating app. Okay, that's gonna be a very interesting experience. That's definitely gonna be a very, very interesting experience, my friend. Yeah, 探探对就是一个 dating app, right? Have you guys ever heard or used any dating app? If yes, tell me in the comment. Tell me in the comment. Yeah. You guys must have definitely heard about this app called Tinder, right? There's so many. Embarrassed to say, well, there's not embarrassed at all, my friend. Just share, right? We need more interactions in here, right? We definitely need more interactions in here. Yeah, okay, you try Tinder. Okay, that's better than Facebook, I guess. Yeah. So there's another app called Bumble, which is spelled as Bumble. Sounds like the start of every other horror movie. No, it's not. Like when I was not married, when I was single, I tried lots of dating apps. I try a lot. Yes, Xiaohongshu is also a dating app. Just so you guys like know, like Rednote is also considered to be a dating app because I literally have a friend. She posted just made a post of herself and said that she's single and made just posted beautiful photos of herself and said like how interesting she is, like what kind of person she's looking for, and that's how she's able to find a husband who's like 5 years younger than her. So in China, we consider if you're able to find a husband who's 5 years younger than you and still love you so much, we call them 人生赢家, definitely you know, life winner. So there are also like when I started doing live stream, there was also a very cute guy also made a post and then shared that post to me. Like he's looking for someone, right? So right now there's also a dating app as well, right? So well, in that sense, when you say Facebook is a dating app, I guess that's also true, right? Yeah. So Jennifer tried a lot of dating apps herself. Okay, back to the story. So Jennifer tried so many dating apps, literally every dating app. Okay, so she has tried Tinder, tried Coffee Meets Bagel, tried Bumble, tried like literally every types of matching.com, every dating app. Like she was so eager to just date someone and so eager to get married back then. And so that's why like when the fortune teller told her these three things, and one of the things is that she would only get married after 2 years, she was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to wait for another 2 years to meet my Mr. Right. And she was like so crazy with that. Somehow there's no way she could do, right? So she just kept on dating, just kept on dating, kept on dating using all those dating app. And she also had lots of fun dating experiences back then. Yeah. So somehow what she did, so the fortune teller had these three fortune tellings, right? About Jennifer. And what happened is the very next year, she got promoted. And just so you know, back then in our company, so Jennifer was my colleague. Just so you know, the it was not easy to get promoted back then. The competition was very fierce. I shared before the first job I got was one of the top, definitely the very top notch investment bank on Wall Street, right? You guys could imagine how fierce the competition was inside the company. Every year, one department inside the company would just receive thousands of resumes, and out of the thousand, they're just gonna pick like a dozen of people to hire. So that was like really, really competitive to get into the company. And after getting into the company, after several years of training, when you want to get promoted, it was like even more fierce competition. So back then, I remember for our batch, in order to get promoted, you have to attend interviews, attend like well, actually basically interviews, but there are like several round of interviews. However, you should first be eligible to get into the interview. And so, like lots of people already lost the eligibility to attend the interview, and after the interview, mainly of the people, only half the people were able to got promoted after staying in the bank for 3 years. Okay, so the promotion was definitely not like for sure thing. It was like really really hard competition. So the next year, Jennifer successfully passed the interview and was able to got promoted. So the first fortune telling 应验了, right? The first fortune telling happened. The first thing about her happened, right? Hello, my friend. Welcome to the live. Yeah. So the second thing, what did the fortune teller said? What's the second thing? 能不恩吗? 好, try very hard, okay? Sorry, I've actually got rid of this habit somehow today because we're telling the story. Somehow I start to have used a lot of I will try to be very hard by not using any of the okay, going forward. 能不能说中文？可以呀，宝宝。你关注我了吗？你有没有关注我？关注我了以后可以多说点中文呢。So what happened the second to Jennifer? So the fortune teller said that the very next year, after Jennifer got promoted, she at the very end of the year she would travel afar. That was the second fortune telling, right? So the thing is that after she got promoted, so the company would give her an opportunity to get training in New York. So that is an opportunity to travel afar, right? However, the thing is that she actually had a choice to travel in fall or travel at the end of the year in November, December. So our original plan was that, hey, we should just all chose the first batch of going to training in New York in November in September, because the weather was a lot better, a lot warmer, a lot nicer then, right? So we all said that we all agreed that, okay, we're gonna just go together in the batch of September and October, so that everyone would just be very happy, enjoying the sunshine at the very same time, also have this fantastic training in New York. We all planned like that. We all agreed that we applied for that batch. And unfortunately, Jennifer's firm said that you couldn't go during this time because that was the time when the business was busiest. So we couldn't let you go. You could only go to the training at the year end for the last batch. So the second fortune telling also happened. She wanted to go not the at the end of the year, but somehow because of something she could not control, so she could only go at the end of year. So the second thing of fortune telling happened, right? Very amazing, right, my friend? And then so before she go to New York, she had 2 weeks off as her 1 week off actually, 1 week off for her personal leave. So what she did, she went to California to just have some fun time because she heard about California, and we have shared before, right? California has more men than women because that's the Silicon Valley, that the tech hub. There are a lot of like male talents who are so eager to find female girlfriends. However, there are just very few females there, so there's like very imbalanced market of more men than females, right? So she felt like, yeah, maybe I should just try my luck and go to California and take a look at the market over there, and probably I would find my Mr. Right. So this like 1 extra week before the training in New York was just on purpose for dating only, okay? So she went there for this 1 week extra time, and so she definitely used all sorts of dating apps while her time during her time in California before the training at the end of the year. Okay. So while she was not able to see anyone that she's satisfied with, she's happy with back then in California using any of the dating app. However, what she did is her parents, knowing that she's so eager to get married, of course, that's a very good news to the parents, right? Because parents really want their daughter to get married and have grandchildren very soon, right? Because that's the traditional Chinese parents, right? Our parents are like that, right? So seems like you're now fortune teller assistant. I'm not, my friend. Just sharing a very interesting story about her, okay? So later on, what happened is that, okay, she went to see this fortune teller and told her about three things. Two things already happened, right? There's only one thing that's waiting to be happened, which is whether she's able to find a Mr. Right, and then got married to the Mr. Right in the year after the next year she went to see the fortune teller, right? So are you sure that parents do that? Yeah, parents, just ask all the girls in China if they are not married, if they are still single at the age of 28, the parents would be so, so eager to send them to see so many men and so eager to push them into marriage. That's what Chinese parents do, okay? Just literally ask all the people in China of the younger generation, we would definitely say yes to you, okay? So that's the very typical Chinese parents, okay? Yeah, so that happened to Jennifer's parents as well. So when the Jennifer's parents got to know that their daughter wants to get married so bad, the parents are like, okay, great, we're just going to help you with that. So her parents actually also actively walked out to see, who has good sons that could be a great match to their daughter. So they were able to find another parents, okay, living in the same neighborhood, 住在一个小区里边的，也有一对父母。So they happen to have a son, and that son happened to be in California, living in Silicon Valley. And then they were like, okay, so my daughter is right now in California. My daughter will visit California very soon. We're definitely going to set up date for these two young people to meet each other. So the parents actually set up everything. So let them to meet. And one beautiful thing about meeting and dating someone who's set up by the parents is that you don't have any problems with your parents might not be happy with the kind of person you're dating, right? So I have previously shared in one of my posts that in China, dating is just not about two people. Like our parents are basically the third wheel. People of our generation actually really value our parents' opinion on the people that we're dating heavily. So if we were dating someone that our parents are not happy, we would know that means something. Okay. So if our parents are extremely, extremely not happy with the people that we're dating, we probably just break up with the people we're dating. Okay. Yeah. Is this a record? This is not a record, James Bond. Bomb. Bombed. This is not a record, my friend. This is a live stream, okay? This is definitely a live stream, okay? I no longer do any recording because I got punished hard before on both platform on different platforms by playing recorded live stream. Okay, so no more recording. Everything is live. Okay. However, for people, if you want to watch the replay of the live stream, just follow me on YouTube and Bilibili, the same account name called Nitrous plus 456. Okay. Nitrous 456. That's how you're able to find me on YouTube and Bilibili. And that's where I'm going to just post the replays of the live stream. Okay. Yeah. So, who punished you? Nobody punished me. Why do you say punish me? Yeah, Martin. Yeah. Anyhow, let's continue. So, what happened to Jennifer later is that, okay, so the parents of herself and the parents of that boy, like they just planned it so hard, like definitely gonna just make these two kids meet each other in California so that they could eventually meet and date. So, like I said, like one thing great about meeting someone, just having a date and finally date someone that is set up by your parents is that you don't need to worry that your parents would not be happy with this little boy, right? Or little girl because they set up. If they're not happy with the person they introduced to you, then they would not introduce that person to you, right? So the less pressure on the parents' side. So, well, Jennifer, well, don't say poor Jennifer because she's very happy, more than happy to meet the person that her parents set up for her because she's so eager to get married and she's more than happy to meet any new man. So, so basically the parents sent photos of this man to Jennifer and showed her like how this man look and how tall this man is and also what's the education background. Yeah, so her husband actually went to the top-notch school in the US. I believe graduated from uh Northwest University, Northwest or Northwestern University, 西北大学. Yeah, how to say 西北大学? 西北大学 is Northwestern University or Northwest University. That's definitely considered to be one of the top university in the US, right, my friend? So so the boy graduated from that university with a PhD degree, with a PhD degree. So definitely very amazing background, right? So 这直播是干嘛的？英语讲故事，我们会探讨各种各样的问题，但是现阶段我现在正在讲故事，现在正在讲故事，大家可以听听这个故事，还是挺有意思的。OK， yeah, Northwestern University, right? So a PhD from Northwestern University, right? This boy, like Jennifer's parents set up her to meet with, definitely has a great background, right? So they met for the first time in California and immediately they fell in love. Fell in love. So Jennifer was so happy. So she sent me photos to me about herself. And she was like, oh my God, I met this guy. This guy is amazing. Oh, I'm deeply in love. I'm so happy every day. However, our training started. So she had to return to our training in New York, right? Flew away from 西北大学官网是 Northwest. Okay, right. So you guys know which university I'm talking about, right? Northwest or Northwestern. As long as you guys know which university I'm talking about, that's great. But you guys know that Northwest University or Northwestern University is definitely one of the top universities in the US, right? Yeah. Okay. So later on, what she did is like she have to fly back to New York and start a training with us. So during our training, Jennifer actually said a lot about this amazing, amazing guy she met in California. And also later on, because our training started in November, and then there was the Thanksgiving holiday, right? Altogether, including the weekends, you have 4 days off for the Thanksgiving holiday, right? So definitely, as people like us who flew all the way from Hong Kong to New York to attend a training, we're definitely gonna make use of the 4 days to fly around to have some fun time, right? Definitely not gonna just stay in New York, stay in our dorm in our hotel for the 4 days, right? So, for example, for other girls like us who flew away from Hong Kong to New York to attend a training, we all agreed that we're just gonna fly to Hawaii to spend a crazy 4 days, right? That's why I shared before that during our time in Hawaii, we also went to stripper clubs. Well, did not plan for it, did not know that the club we went to was a stripper club. Somehow we had like amazing experience in Hawaii, right? But Jennifer, we said like, Jennifer, come with us, because Jennifer was like a really fun person. We said, Jennifer, you must come with us. You definitely need to come with us to Hawaii, right? You've never been to Hawaii, and Hawaii is such a fun city. Let's just go there. Let's stay at the most fancy hotels in Hawaii, and let's just go and have fun time. Spend time at the beach, right? And Jennifer said, no, I'm not gonna go with you. I'm not gonna go with you guys. I'm not gonna join you guys because I have to meet my boy. I have to meet my guy. So what she did is that her boy, her guy, flew all the way from California to New York to meet with her during the Thanksgiving holiday. And they guys, they two of them, the two of them, spent a lovely 4 days together during the Thanksgiving. And that's the second time she met with this guy, right? The first time was in California, right? When Jennifer spent the 1 week holiday before coming to New York for training. That's the first time they met. And Thanksgiving was the second time they met, right? So after 4 days, 4 days are too short for a couple who are deeply in love, right? So they decided to meet again in where? In Chicago, so that they would come in middle. Like it's not like someone fly to New York and or New York fly to California. So both of them decided to meet in Chicago. Do we have any Chicago friends in here? I just saw someone said in Chicago. Yeah, do we have any friends in Chicago, my friend? Yeah. So both of them decided to meet in middle in Chicago. That's what they did. Yeah. Okay, Roman, why are you so interested in knowing how many Christians are in China? Uh, not sure about the exact number, maybe around 20 million, 40 million Christians in China. That's the answer to the question, okay? So back to the story. Okay, so Chicago. So they decided to marry. So our training was actually nonstop after Thanksgiving holiday, right? So in order to meet her Mr. Right, Jennifer actually just lied, said that she was sick. So she has to take sick leave for 2 days together with the weekends so that she could fly to Chicago to meet with her Mr. Right. She spent another 3 days together. Very sweet moment together, she and her boy together back then. And that's the third time they met. Altogether, counting the first time in California, the second time in New York, and the third time in Chicago, they have only met 3 times, right? And at the end of December, she returned back to Hong Kong. And in January, we had a New Year dinner together. And she was saying that, guys, I'm gonna get married. And all of us like were shocked. We're like, what? What? You're getting married? And she's like, yes, I'm about to get married. And what I would do next is I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna move all the way to California to be married and to stay there with my man. And we were like, what? You just met this guy for only 3 times, right? You only met him for 3 times and you only got to know him 1 month before. You guys only dated for 1 month and met for 3 times. And you tell me that you're just gonna marry to him? And she said, yes, I'm gonna marry to him. And then what happened later on is that in dinner, when we were having this dinner, when Jennifer announced that she's gonna get married, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait, Jennifer, do you remember that you have met a fortune teller 2 years ago? You remember we had this dinner after you met this fortune teller, and the fortune teller said you had 3 things that would happen in your coming 2 years. And the first thing is that you're gonna get promoted. And you got promoted last year, right? And fortune teller said you're gonna travel afar. And you did. You went all the way from Hong Kong to New York at the end of the year, right? That happened as well. And you said the third thing was that you would be married this year. And it's only the beginning of the year and you already got married. And like all the 3 things, fortune teller only said 3 things. And all the 3 things happened. And we were like, everyone was like, oh my God. Oh my God, that fortune teller was no joke. Like she said 3 things, we didn't take it seriously, and every one of us basically just forgot about the fortune teller stories, right? However, all the three things just happened, all realized, right? After that. 来自意大利的很多爱和支持，中国加油！Thank you, L. Thank you for lots of love from Italy, my friend. Thank you for your love and support, and also lots of love and support from China to you. Is it Ella or it's L? Yeah, somehow that's what happened, my friend, which is very amazing. So what happened to me is that the very next day, I said like Jennifer during the dinner, I said, Jennifer, you need to pass me the contact the fortune teller immediately. And she said, okay, I'm just gonna send you her number to you immediately. And I just arranged an appointment with this fortune teller to meet the very next day. Because back then I was also single. After seeing what happened to Jennifer, I was, also hoping the same thing would happen to me, right? Or at least I would want to know what happened to me, right? So, I definitely just asked for the contact of the fortune teller immediately. Or of course, Jennifer immediately passed the fortune teller's contact to me. And I am definitely the type of person who execute really fast. Okay, I have a very strong ability of execution. When it comes to execution, I just execute everything, boom, 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 like this, clap, like clap. Very, very fast. So after we realized that everything the fortune teller said about Jennifer came true, immediately I scheduled an appointment with this fortune teller to meet the very next day. And just a first hint for so that you guys don't leave, okay? So the thing the fortune teller forecast about me also happened. Okay, also happened, my friend. So I'm gonna tell you the story. The next story is about like how I met this fortune teller and what everything happened to me. Also, everything fortune teller told about me also happened. Okay, so she told this fortune telling about Jennifer. Everything happened. The three things happened, right? And later on, so after knowing about the fortune teller forecast to buy Nvidia, there's a very funny Tony. Did you buy? And I didn't check the price of Nvidia because my Nvidia was like deep down in the water. I purchased that at around $130. So I guess it was still down in the water. Anyhow, yeah. So back to the back to the story. So what I did is that okay, since everything happened to Jennifer, anything fortune teller told about Jennifer happened. I definitely need to meet this fortune teller as well, right? However, I also have to say that's the something that I regret most. I really regretted seeing this fortune teller, even though everything she told about me actually happened was true. Okay, so later on, what she did, so Jennifer also gave me this warning. Like she said, like, hey, fortune teller would ask you whether you want to do 1 year fortune telling or you want to do 4 year fortune telling, right? And Jennifer said, just be brave, go for the 10 years. Even though the fortune teller would say that, okay, there's a likelihood that you would meet no one for the next 10 years, don't worry about it. Just go for the 10 years. Okay. If she said that you're not going to meet anyone for the next 10 years, just treat that as a false fortune teller. That's definitely not going to happen to you. Just go for 10 years. And I said, okay, sure, Jennifer, I'm definitely going to do that. So the very next day, in the afternoon, I went to see the fortune teller. Very, very nervous to, really nervous because I didn't know what would happen to me, right? What would the fortune teller tell me? What if the fortune teller said I'm not gonna meet anyone for the next 10 years? And it's not like Jennifer, right? Because Jennifer already, when Jennifer went to see the fortune teller, like we didn't know that this fortune teller was good or not, right? So you could just say, like, oh, okay, if this fortune teller said that I'm not gonna meet anyone for the next 10 years, that's fine because she's bad. However, after what happened to Jennifer, you have already witnessed everything with your own eyes. You already see that this fortune teller is amazing. Like everything she told actually did come true, right? So, what if she said that I'm not going to meet anyone for the next 10 years? I wouldn't just tell myself, okay, that's not true. She's a bad fortune teller because she has proved that she is a good fortune teller, right? So, back then, I was like really nervous when I went to see this fortune teller. 很像我的英文老师，所以你有关注我吗 Guys, have you guys followed me? Have you guys followed me? For those of you who have not followed me, please follow me, okay? Follow me, please, guys. Follow me, please, if you haven't done so. Okay, yeah. So I went to see the fortune teller the very next day. And then, of course, the fortune teller gave me the same warning. Hey, if you do the 10 years fortune telling, then there's a chance that you're not going to have anyone, right? Do you still want to go with the 10 years? I said, go ahead. I'm just going to go for the next 10 years. So we started to do this tarot card fortune telling, okay? So basically what she did is like she first of all have all those like tarot cards, mix all the tarot cards and place the tarot cards one by one in front of you on the table. And she asked you to pick up I don't remember. I think altogether three tarot cards or something. So I picked it up like one by one. And then she started to analyze what happens on the tarot cards. And she said something like, oh, this tarot cards means what? This tarot cards means what this tarot cards means what? So the kind of fortune telling she said to me was that this year probably you're just not gonna meet anyone nice. Okay, so to be honest, like as a girl like me, right, you guys can tell that I am considered to be sort of like good looking, right? So every year I would have lots of what we call 桃花. No matter which year it was, I always just bump into romance. Like there were always guys. Like every year, like I would just bump into guys, right? But she just said that for the very next year, all the guys are basically just you know, random guys. These are not going to be the important guy in your life. So, however, in 2019, 2019, 2019, that's going to be the year that you're going to meet someone that becomes so important to your life. And she said that, okay, this person is not going to be the type of person you would imagine yourself to date. Okay, for example, back then I would consider that I would definitely meet someone, you know, a man who's like with similar background, right? Like me, also maybe potentially also from the finance industry, also like have been to the same cities I've been to, work in the same place I worked in, like very similar background to me. And she said that no, this very important person that you're gonna meet in 2019 is gonna be a person that you could not imagine, like completely different background, very, very, very different to you. However, you guys would have a very, very important romance, a kind of romance. The love would be like deeply carved to your heart, kind of romance, you know, the very strong and intense romance. However, you guys would not be able to get together because of some external reasons, some objective reasons. 因为一些客观的原因，你们最终没有办法在一起。For example, one of the reason is long distance. This can be one of the example as for the long objective reasons why you're not able to get together. So she said that. And like, okay, and then after another 2 years, like you would get married. So that's the story she told me, okay. Of course, okay, I was like same like Jennifer was like pounding on the table. Oh, what? I'm only gonna meet my Mr. Right after 2 years, something like that. You know, it was like really crazy. It was always like really looking forward. And the thing is that the question is that the problem is that when the fortune teller starts to tell you that you're gonna meet someone who's completely different to you and blah 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 like that, you know, you start to give yourself some how to say some hint as well, like whenever you go out and see every man walking on the street, every man that comes to your life, you just start to say, is this man the important man that she's talking about? Or is that man? Maybe this man. Hmm. Or this man. Like every man back then I saw, I started to just feel like, oh, I started to guess, okay, is this man? Is that man? Is that man? You know? No longer just view any man like a random man, a normal man. I start to just view every man as the potential, the important man. You know, it was like pretty miserable back then because you're so eager to meet this guy, and somehow like you just didn't know which one was the guy. So every man I met back then, I was like, oh, is this guy? Oh, that guy. I was like, oh yeah. And when someone, you know, approached me, a guy like considered to be like with a relatively different kind of background. For example, he was born and raised in a very different place. I was like, oh, maybe this guy. So when this guy approached me, I was like showing myself as like more charming so that maybe, yeah, maybe it's this guy or maybe it's that guy, you know, kind of thing. Definitely quite torturing, you know. Also, like when I was walking on the street, I would also be thinking, like, oh, what was my important man doing right now? Is he ready to meet me? You know, something like that, you know? Am I cute, my friend? was I very cute back then? Looking back, I would consider the today me, if I am able to meet myself back then, I would definitely consider myself to be a very cute girl. I would definitely say, "Oh, you're so cute," you know? Yeah, do you think I'm cute, my friend? After I told you guys the story, yeah. So it was so funny is that back then, you're cute now. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, so, what happened is that back then I was like so eager, just like Jennifer back then, like so eager to meet the Mr. Important, right? And the fortune teller told me that Mr. Important is someone who has completely different background, right? So back then, somehow, like from different period of time, you start to have like a taste for different men. I'm not sure about you guys, right? For me, like, thank you, Hector. Yes, no politics, please, my friend. Yeah, it's not because of me. It's because of you, my friend. On Red Note, if you send anything related to politics in the comment, your account might be banned. Okay, so it's for your own good. It's for your own good. It's for your sake that just restrain from sending anything politics. There was a follower who were in my live stream before, and like his account was banned because he said something about politics, and he thought it was me who banned him. It was not. It's a platform. Okay, yeah. So also thank you, Hector, for reminding that, sending reminder of that. Yeah. So back to the story, right? Many people were very curious to know about the story, right? So and I'm not sure about you guys, right? For me, back then, like from different period of time, like I was just grow strong interest in certain type of men, right? So for example, Jennifer, like there was a period of time like she was really interested in Indian guy. Like so she's like Chinese, but somehow like she really likes to date like Indian guys. And like it was like for that period of time back then, like I was really into dating. I was really into dating like artists, like musicians or like painters, those kind of artists. Like I was really into dating those kind of guys because I'm very attracted to the very artsy kind of a feeling out of those like artist guys. So back then I was like that. And also because the fortune teller said that I'm gonna date someone who's like of so different background, I was like, oh, maybe an artist, right? I am not an artist myself, right? I just went to normal schools and I just take on jobs that's considered also to be, no, not saying that being an artist is abnormal. It's just like I just consider like artist is so cool, right? The job as an artist is like so cool, right? A musician in a band, that is definitely considered to be so cool, right? I'm not like doing a cool job. I'm just doing a very mediocre kind of job, even though that's considered to be a great job, right? Working in one of the investment bank on Wall Street. But somehow the kind of job that I did back then was considered to be a normal job, right? Not a cool job, just a very every job, right? But for artists, these are like really cool jobs, right? So back then I somehow grew in strong interest in musician also because the fortune teller said I'm gonna meet someone who has like very different background. I was like, okay, maybe I'm just gonna my Mr. Important is gonna be a musician or an artist. 是中国人呢，现在在讲一个非常精彩的故事，所以关注我来继续去听哈。I'm kind of musician. Good to know, Martin. Yeah, so and what happened is that I dated several artists, unfortunately, or men, even though they are not artists, but they have like a lot of like art kind of cells and art cells in their body, like they are considered to be very artsy. However, nothing happened after the dating because my Mr. Important was not different in background in the sense that he is an artist. Okay, so in 2019, okay, so that's the year that the fortune teller said I'm gonna meet my Mr. Right. So throughout the 2019, every day I was looking for my Mr. Right. And unfortunately, I didn't meet my Mr. Right. I was like, okay, anyhow, forgot about it, right? It's already the end of the 2019 and nothing happened. So I literally just forgot about the fortune teller's fortune telling because it didn't happen to me, right? I didn't meet anyone. So I went traveling at the end of the year, right? Usually during Christmas time was the time of vacation, right? So you would take days off and travel, right? So I traveled to Northeast China to a city called Changchun. And at the very end of the day, December 31st of 2019, I met my Mr. Important. I met my Mr. Important. Was that amazing, my friend? Was that amazing? So the fortune teller said 2019. She didn't say which day of 2019. So I was always like searching for the entire year of 2019. When it comes to November, December, I just basically gave up. I thought like, okay, well, maybe the fortune teller was accurate about Jennifer, but she's definitely not accurate on me because it's already the end of 2019. I didn't meet anyone, right? So I gave up. I forgot about the story. At the end of December 31st of 2019, I met this guy. So literally it was just by fate all of a sudden, right? So what happened back then, okay, was that okay, we are traveling tour group, right? Traveling tour group, and we were just going out together, right? And there was a girl inside the traveling tour group saw a guy who's like very tall, very handsome on the street. So she just went up to him, and started to strike a conversation and ask for his contact, something like that. And back then, I was, just talking to some other people inside the travel group. Like we were just discussing in our travel group as well, right? I didn't notice that this girl was walking to this guy and asking for his contact. And later on, so like people were like, shh, look, she's going to the guy asking for his contact. And I turned around and I saw a very tall man. I only saw his back. I only saw his back. And I saw our lady, this girl was asking for his contact. And it was like, ooh, ooh, something like that. It was 小哥哥,小哥哥, something like I was like cheering. And I was like, yeah, pass her your contact, pass her your contact, something like that. And then, you know what? And then it's so interesting that of and it's December 31st, right? It's the last day of the year. So what do you do during the last day of the year? You're gonna celebrate the new year, right? So that's basically what happened. So I was like cheering. I was like, "Ooh, 小哥哥," and I was like, "Hey," like you guys know, like I have a very extroverted personality. I'm very outgoing. So I was saying like, "Hey, 小哥哥,晚上跟我们一起去跨年吧." Like, "Hey, come with us to celebrate the new year. Come with us to the new year party," something like that. And he's like, "Oh, I already had my plan. I couldn't really come." I said, "No, you must come. No matter where you go, that's where we would go. You must come," something like that. But but back then I was not doing it for myself. I was doing it for this girl, right? Because she was the one went up and asked for his contact, right? And said like, "Hey," invited him to come over with us. So somehow, yes, he did. He came with us, and we had this New Year party together. Very happy New Year party. Somehow we didn't know, like after several drinks, like everyone was tipsy, was drunk, and somehow the kind of vibes between this girl who asked for his contact was pretty much not so. However, the kind of the thing between me and him becomes like so different. Somehow the vibes just change. Somehow it was very funny, very interesting, and yeah, later on just we started dating, so that's what happened, right? However, like there's an issue with long distance, right? This There was an issue with long distance, like long distance issue, right? So somehow the fortune telling also happened, right? Because she said that in 2019, you're going to meet someone so important to you, and you're going to have a very, very important relationship with this guy. And this kind of love was like so deeply carved in your heart, kind of love. And somehow you guys were not be able to get together because of some external factors, some objective reasons, for example, long distance. And what happened is that we had a pretty good relationship, and well, even though I have dated other men before, but never ever have I met someone that I love so much. And I felt like we have, a good, I feel like we have such a strong bonding, right? He really know me and I really know him. That never ever have I had met a man that I dated that I could just talk endless on the phone, right? 4 or 5, 6 hours on the phone. And we just could have like we would never run out of topics to talk. It was never like that. So how far is Shanghai from Changchun? So back then I was in Hong Kong, which is like 4 hours. I think 4 hours by flight, 4 hours or 5 hours by flight. So pretty far, okay. So it's like, oh my god, so we were always on the phone and we talked. So the moment we realized we have talked a long time, that was already 3 hours and still we have a lot to talk, and every day we talk, like we just have a lot of time to talk, like just couldn't just stop talking to each other. So never ever have I found someone like that. Yeah, so somehow like we had a really good relationship. Also, however, it was long distance, right? And there was also pretty hard for us to solve this long distance problem because of our jobs, right? We all had our own career, very good career. And if we moved to other city, there would basically just some problems with us, like moving to some other city, right? So there's like a big dilemma between whether we should give up our career just for this relationship or not. So back then, lots of struggle. And, the reason why I really regretted seeing the fortune teller is because the fortune teller said that this relationship would not end up well because of external factors like long distance. So the fortune teller basically already told me that this relationship would not end well because of long distance. And so back then I was like in such strong pain because I love this guy so much. Like we were in really good relationship. However, we are also having this like long distance problems, right? Just like this fortune teller were saying. And somehow and it was like it was killing me every day. It was killing me every day, right? You say like don't trust fortune teller, but the thing is that everything the fortune teller told about Jennifer and also about me all happened. There's no way that I couldn't trust a fortune teller because she was so accurate about so many things. Right. So what happened is eventually I did break up with this Mr. Important. And however, because the love was so strong, so we broke up after a while. So we come back together again. However, after several months, we broke up again. We broke up again because like we felt like the long distance problem was not a problem that we could solve. Like we broke up again. However, after several months, we went back together. It was like very heartbroken kind of experience. So every time we break up, it makes the love to become deeply, even more deeply carved in the heart, right? So the love become even deeper after you break up and went back, break up and went back, right? So I remember every time I broke up with Mr. Important, I just cried so hard, and don't feel like eating at all. And back then it was COVID, right, my friend? It makes everything even harder, right? During COVID, like quarantine. So I want to meet him so bad, but whenever we want to meet, I have to go through so many days of quarantine, right? That's definitely considered to be hard, right? So it was one good thing is that during the daytime when we work, everyone was wearing a mask. So I usually would wear a very big mask. Well, under the mask, I was actually crying, because I broke up with him, and I really don't want to break up with him. But we both of us don't see a future back then, so that's why like I was crying. But since like I was wearing a big mask, so colleagues don't know I was crying, but I was crying. Yeah. So I remember there was also a time that during oh okay, it's so dark because it's raining outside. Okay, wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna turn on the light. Okay, I'm gonna turn on the light. Okay, 我就开一下灯啊。Okay, it's brighter right now. Okay, the light is brighter right now. Yeah. Okay, back, my friend. Yep, back, my friend. How many are still there? Okay, great. You're still here. Yeah. So no, you want to the answer? You want to know the answer? Stay in the live stream. Okay, guys, follow me, please. Okay, how many guys? How many guys of you have followed me? Okay, so back to the topic. Oh yeah, someone asked, is the Mr. Important a musician? No, he's not. He's not a musician at all. Thing is that he's not a musician. He was a soldier. He was a soldier. Never ever in my life would I imagine that I would, date someone who was a soldier. You know, never ever have I imagined I would date a soldier, right? Because back then I was, imagining that I would date a musician, that right? I never imagined I would date a soldier, right? But that's what literally just happened to me, right? So the fortune teller said I'm gonna Mr. Important is someone who has a completely different background than me. she's right because like soldier, like so different background. I would never imagine that I would date a soldier, right? A dangerous soldier, not dangerous at all. Yeah. So I never imagined that, okay, this person grew up in a very different city, from very different city, and like from north part of China, right? And also was a soldier, like so different, right? Still, we were able to have so many things to talk about and have endless conversations every day. It was like, oh my God, that is amazing. Fortune teller was right about that. And fortune teller also said that, okay, you guys are not going to be together just because of long distance. So that thing really killed me. It's a national secret, don't tell us. How funny you are, my friend. Is he older than you? Yeah, so back then, actually, the fortune teller was very specific about Mr. Important. So Mr. Fortune Teller said that, okay, this Mr. Important would look very matchy to you. Well, he's definitely, so I consider myself to be good looking, right? So so fortune teller said that Mr. Right would also be quite good looking. So when people see you two together, people would consider, well, these are beautiful couples. So fortune teller said that. Okay. So definitely tall because I am very tall, right? So if this person, this Mr. Important, is gonna match me very well, like would make us look a beautiful couple, then he must be very tall as well, right? So okay, so when fortune teller said like you two are gonna be a good match, I would immediately thought, okay, good. I'm definitely gonna date someone. Mr. Important is definitely gonna be someone handsome, right? So yes, I consider him to be quite handsome. So he's 185 centimeters tall. Not sure how tall is that in feet. Yeah, guys, you could just help me translate 185 centimeters is like how many feet, my friend? I don't know about it. So 185 centimeters tall is definitely considered to be tall in China, okay? Yeah, so he's tall, 6 foot. Okay, 6 feet, 6 feet and one, 6 feet and one, right? 6 feet one, 6'1". Yeah. So he's 6'1", right? I'm 5'8", so he's 6'1", right? So really matchy. Also considered to be quite good looking as well, right? So what happened later on is that, okay, so fortune teller said, first of all, definitely good looking, right? The Mr. Important I met is also very good looking, right? Oh, you're also 6'1". Good. Yeah. And second, fortune teller said he has a very, very different background than I do. That also happened. Fortune teller said that you guys are gonna meet in an occasion that you don't imagine. It's definitely not a normal kind of occasion. Also happened, right? Fortune teller also said, Mr. Important, you guys would have this long-term relationship problem, right? That would eventually kill your relationship. That also happened. So not artists at all, right? Yeah, so as a result, what happened is, oh, you're 181 centimeters, you're also tall, KP. Yeah. So I was like so suffering, so killing because it really killed me every day when I was having a lovely, beautiful moment with my Mr. Important. At the very same time, I was just thinking about this fortune teller's saying that I would not be able to be with him eventually, and that my friend was a really miserable experience. So because of that, I really regretted seeing fortune teller. And as a result, I will never ever see a fortune teller ever in my entire life. I'm just gonna live my life and I'm not gonna see a fortune teller and just tell me what's going on in my life. Because if the fortune teller tell you something bad about your life, you would just keep like for me, okay, I would just keep on thinking about this. I would just keep on thinking about the bad thing that the fortune teller told me about. And that would literally just make me feel so bad every day because I constantly would remind me of what the fortune teller said and constantly remind me that a bad future was waiting in front of me, right? So that's the reason why that I would never ever see a fortune teller ever in my entire life. Okay, because back then I suffered a lot from it. Yeah. Well, somehow that's also the reason why when I read the story about when I read this book about Mini Baz, I shared with you guys about the Chinese wisdom between yin and yang, right? Yin ji yang, yin yin ji yang shen, something like, well, how to say it? which basically means like when you're going to one side of the story too much, immediately your life is going to flip, right? When too many bad things happen to you, all of a sudden you're just going to start to have good things, right? So that's a good mentality, but back then I don't have it. All I can think about is that I'm not going to have a good future with Mr. Important. I'm not going to have a good future with Mr. Important. And but I love Mr. Important so much. I want to be with him, but I'm not be able to be with him. Like that was so hard. So later on, you know, after having broken up for several times and get back together, this is not gonna end. So remember, I was in Singapore, so I finally decided like I'm just gonna call it off. There's no way that I'm just gonna make this thing happen, right? Together, break up, together, break up. So I just told Mr. Important, I said, Mr. Important, what do you think about our future? Tell me, what do you think about our future? I was planning to say that, hey, I don't see a future in us. So if there's no future in us, we should just stop contacting each other. I'm just gonna delete your contact because if I don't delete your contact, I just couldn't resist contacting you. I'm just gonna delete you out of my life completely so that we need to end this relationship, right? No more back and forth because all the back and forths are killing me. And if we are not gonna head into a good future, then what's the point of always having this back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth every day, right? For a moment we're together, even though we're together, that's the sweet bitterness. We have a moment of happiness, but we all know that eventually it's going to be a miserable result, right? Then why are we just torturing ourselves? Maybe we should all just both move on to find the real Mr. Right or Miss Right in our life and just forget about this Mr. Important and Miss Important in our life kind of experience, right? So I finally made up my mind and finally decided that okay, no more thing like that. So I made this call and I was like trying to be very, very still. However, the moment I started saying, like my tears just came out and just cried. I was asking, what do you think about our future? I was saying, what were you thinking about my future? Because I was really planning to say that I don't think we have a future. We probably should just stop contacting each other, should just stop the mistake from making it happen again. And then somehow, like Mr. Important started to smile. And he said that, future, what do you think about the future? What do you want for the future? And I was like, hey, why do you smile? I'm actually discussing something very important with you, my friend. I'm not my friend, Mr. Important, right? I'm discussing this very important topic because I finally made up my mind. The fact that you're laughing, you're smiling. He's not laughing, okay? Well, the fact that you're smiling makes me feel like you don't really respect the kind of result, and you have no idea like how hard for me to come up with this decision, right? And then he's like, okay, I have thought about the entire thing. Well, actually, I was planning to wait for you to return from Singapore and we could meet face to face and discuss about our future because I finally made up my mind that I would leave my city, just abandon my career, everything, because I think you are the one and I will need to be with you. And he said that. And that moment, oh my God, I just cried so hard because eventually, you know, we finally were able to come back together. So that's what basically what he did later on, right? So later on, yes, after our return from Singapore after the quarantine, so we had a face-to-face meeting, and then he told me about his plan. So it was really tough because he basically need to abandon everything, start from zero, moving to Shanghai, right? Also, I would move to Shanghai as well from Hong Kong. I also need to abandon my career, move to Shanghai. So both of us just abandoned our old career and just we call 双向奔赴, right? Moved to Shanghai and started our life together. Of course, before that, we also need to solve some other problems, right? Because before, like we have our secret love, our parents were not aware of our relationship because we ourselves were not optimistic about our future. How come our parents would be optimistic about our future, right? 会说中文吗？会说是中国人，100%的中国人。So first of all, we need to solve the problem of like letting our parents nod their head, right? To agree with our relationship, right? So, and then also solve the problem. So her parents definitely don't want him to move out of the city, right? Because parents, like I said, shared before, parents in China always want their children to be with them, right? So like that's the first problem to solve. And then also like how should I fly to his city to meet with his parents so that his parents would like me, and how he should fly to our city, like make my parents meet him, like how make my parents like him. There are lots of things we need to sort it out. So still remember the first time I flew to his city to meet his parents. I was like so nervous. Like on the way, like when he was driving me to his home, like he could see that I'm like so nervous. He's like, oh, relax. He's like, relax, relax. You're looking so nervous, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, I am nervous, right? But somehow you guys can tell, like, I am definitely uh a girl, right? So like her parents really like me. Yeah, so I have a good personality, right? And also good looking. Like her parents immediately really like me. So that sense, that's pretty good. So when he comes to my family, a little bit of trouble, because just so you know, like girl's dad, right? Dad always never like the girl's boyfriend, right? At the very beginning. So my dad was not giving a very good face. At in the first meeting. I was not so happy with that. So dad, whenever we have some guests, you're always like really warm, like very welcoming. Why when he's coming in here, you're not showing a very good face, I was like that. Later on, I was like, I shared the story to my friends, my girlfriends. My girlfriend said that, you know what, that happened to my family as well. You have to know that there is a saying that 老丈人看那个叫什么来着？老丈人看女婿不行的，但是老丈母娘看女婿是越看越喜欢的。They're saying that, yeah. So like the girl's dad, when he first saw the boyfriend, never good. But the girl's mom saw the boyfriend, the longer the better. So there's a Chinese saying like that, right? There's a Chinese saying like that. So the first time my dad met my Mr. Important, but later on become Mr. Right, right? So he was not showing like so warming, so welcoming. Like before, I was like, "What? Why? Why did you do that, Dad?" And later, my other friend said, like, "Okay, basically that's also what's happening when they first brought their boyfriend back home." It was like very interesting. Yeah. So, well, in a sense, the fortune teller was also right, because the fortune teller said that 2 years later I would get married, something like that. They're like, or not married. I would finally be back together. I would be happily together with my Mr. Right. It's just the only one thing she did not say. She was not able to foresee, which was Mr. Important is exactly Mr. Right. She didn't say that. So I thought like Mr. Important is Mr. Important, Mr. Right is Mr. Right. And fortune teller said that, okay, you're gonna meet your Mr. Important in the year 2019. You guys are gonna have a very deep love, the kind of love that's carved in your heart. And unfortunately, just because of long distance, those objective reasons, external reasons, that you're not gonna be together. That all happened. And 2 years later, you're gonna be together with your Mr. Right. And that Mr. Right is going to be someone you're going to be married in your life. There's only one thing she failed to say. There's only one thing she's missing when she was doing fortune telling, which is Mr. Right, Mr. Important is exactly Mr. Right. So because of that, I had this miserable 2 years dating my Mr. Important, right? The sweet bitterness, right? Bitterness, that even though I really enjoy this relationship, somehow like I always remember Mr. Fortune Teller said that we're not gonna get together, and then later on like had this very miserable 2 years, eventually happily be together with my Mr. Important, who then later on turned to be Mr. Right. So right now I'm very happily married to my Mr. Right, even though from time to time we still would argue, right? Yeah. So like yesterday, right? I showed you guys live, right? People who were in the live yesterday, like I showed you guys like how I was able to order everything online. I ordered a live fish and also live shrimp, right? To you guys, and was delivered 45 minutes later, right? So there's no way like I know how to kill a fish, right? And take the organs out of the fish, clean the fish, right? So Mr. Right did all that. And also because he's not so good at doing that. Like he's not very good at killing the fish, taking the organs, like cleaning the fish, everything like that. And he was basically just searching on Red Note, and Red Note was teaching him like how to do that. He was just watching the videos on Red Note at the same time doing the fish killing thing, and because of that he cut his finger. He cut his finger, so he went back to me like, look, I cut my finger just because you ordered a live fish. I said, yeah, I ordered this live fish because people in the live stream want to see the live fish, and that's why I ordered this live fish. And he was like, but because if you order this live fish, I cut my finger. He was like that. I said, okay. I said, oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Oh, let me look at your fingers. And he said, now you know what to do next, right? Never buy a live fish. I was like, inside my heart was like, you just cut your finger. What to brag about it? So we had a little, small little argument back then yesterday, just because I ordered a live fish and he cut his finger when dealing with this like live fish, and he was complaining about it. And and he was saying that I already cut my finger to deal with the live fish. How come you're not showing your love? Oh, now I feel like he was complaining. He was like, you know what? I feel like I love you way more than you love me. I feel like you love yourself more than I love you, I already cut the finger because of you, because of you ordered this like fish and you're not showing any love to me. You're not showing any, you know, something like that. We had this very funny little argument yesterday, but that's like a very funny argument. That's not like the big fight or big argument, right? Martin saying like divorce is coming. Like we would not get divorced because of those little thing, right? It was an argument. Was it was yeah, it was like Sajal, right? It was not like real argument. It was like the kind of argument that kind of a love or naughty kind of argument, right? So was pretty funny, yeah. So yeah, quite happily married, yeah. So have a happy weekend with Mr. Right Nitrous. Pamper him after cutting his finger. Sure, I'm gonna do that. Oh, you guys are funny. Yeah. So that's basically what happened. So eventually I'm happily married. I'm very happy. And also fortune teller said that I would also have children in my life. So I'm not worried that I'm still not having children, because in my destiny, in my Ming, I do have children in my Ming. So I do think that I will have children. Just so you guys know that I really love children. I love children a lot. Louis the Cat, you're so fun. You have the most funny personality I've ever seen. What's he complaining about? He has 9 more fingers, doesn't he? Yeah, maybe I should just say, you have 9 more fingers, don't you? Like, what's to complain about? Yeah. I like to ask you a question. Are you a Christian? I'm not a Christian, my friend. Do you believe in fortune telling? Somehow I do believe in fortune telling. Yeah. I have shared before in my live stream. Yeah, I spent almost an entire live stream today sharing you guys about 2 stories, right? Right story about my closest friend Jennifer, like how she's able to find her Mr. Right after hearing the story of Mr. Miss Fortune Teller, right? And also later on, I went to see the exact same fortune teller, and like whatever the fortune teller told me also happened to me, right? So after all that, I definitely believe in fortune telling. Having said that I'm not going to see any fortune teller in the future, simply because, as you guys already know, if fortune tellers say something bad about you, just keep on thinking about what the fortune tellers say, and that's no good. That's no good for people, right? Oh, okay. So the reason why you asked me whether I'm a Christian is because I'm wearing a cross, right? So like people here in China, like many people, even though we are not Christian, we will still wear cross because they are considered to be good decoration. So I like it because it's a good decoration. Maybe also, even though I'm not a Christian, but I feel like it would be good to be blessed by the gods. So do you find this necklace to be beautiful? Do you guys like this necklace? I really like it. It's very delicate and really beautiful. Do you guys like the necklace? Do you guys like the necklace? And somehow it also matches very well with the earrings. Do you find? It's a cross. This is not cross. These are triangles, but somehow because of the shape of the triangles, it looks also like a cross somehow. Yes, right? So somehow it really matches with the earrings. So I really like it. Yeah. We already know the fortune of Earth is not satisfying. Very pretty. Thank you, my friend. Yeah. So, Do you know Mr. Important's status currently? Mr. Important's status currently? Mr. Important is currently in the kitchen preparing breakfast for himself, potentially for me. So Mr. Important is also the Mr. Breakfast, just so you guys know. Yeah, before like in the live stream, there will always someone sending me breakfast, right? So Mr. Important is Mr. Right and also Mr. Breakfast and also Mr. Delivery Guy. Yesterday he also delivered all the thing like I ordered online to me, right? You guys saw it, right? The live fish, the live shrimp. And also one little funny thing about this live fish and live shrimp that I ordered yesterday. Okay, my friend, was so funny that it was the very first time, to be honest, I ordered live fish and live shrimp. Okay, because none of us are, no, none of it, neither of us were good at like dealing with those live fish and live shrimp. So usually we would just purchase fish or shrimp that was already dealt with. Okay, so that was the first time that I purchased a live fish and I had no idea. So you guys saw that it was packed in a plastic bag, right? It was packed in the plastic bag. I did not know that I have to cut it open so that the fish could breathe. And, I was just basically just left it like that. So in the afternoon when I went to check the fish and the shrimp, they were both dead. They were both dead. So later on, I checked right now and see like, oh, can I still eat them if they're already dead? And they said, okay, within several hours, that's fine. You could still eat them. So in the dinner, we ate the live fish and live shrimp. We ordered a live prawn shrimp. We ordered. Hey, what's the difference between shrimp and prawn? What's the difference between shrimp and prawn? Yeah, can you guys tell me? Because in Chinese, they were both called xia. What's the difference between shrimp and prawn? They're the same, right? Are they the same or are they different, my friend? Can you guys tell me? Can you guys tell me what's the difference between shrimp and prawn? I thought they are the same because in Chinese translation, they both are called xia. The size. So which one is bigger? Shrimp is bigger or prawn is bigger? Yeah, if you say like the difference is the size, just tell me what's the difference between shrimp and prawn. I want to know. Yeah. So somehow I did not know about that, right? Once you have them, you have to cut the bag open, and I did not know. So literally, the shrimp and the live fish I ordered, they were in the bag. I guess they died because they were choked to die. So cruel because lack of oxygen. That's the reason why they're dead because I didn't cut the bag open. Yeah，最后应该这个鱼和虾应该是闷死的。Yeah, yeah. So it was your OOTD is so cool. Thank you, Ronnie. Oh, shrimp are from the ocean, prawns are from river or lakes. 啊，河虾叫 prawns，海虾叫 shrimp. Okay. Wait, but why someone told me like prawn is bigger? Wait, if prawns are from river or lakes, they're supposed to be smaller, right? Shrimp from ocean, because ocean xia is supposed to be bigger, and river and prawn xia is supposed to be smaller, right? Wait, very confused. Right. Don't know whether thing I ordered yesterday is shrimp or prawn, but they look the same, right? They look the same, but you guys know what it is, right? So somehow that's what happened yesterday. Yeah, that's pretty funny. So yeah, 小龙虾应该是 lobster 吧？小龙虾应该是 lobster. Shrimp tastes better because they're from the ocean, right? They're from the ocean, that's why they taste better, right? So really depends. For shrimp and prawn, they taste a lot better when they are fresh compared to they're not fresh. So that's why, like I said yesterday, like here in China, people don't eat frozen stuff. We don't eat frozen fish, frozen prawn, frozen meat. We don't eat frozen vegetables, frozen fruit. We maybe meat we would freeze it. We would eat frozen meat, but like for the rest of stuff, like people just don't eat anything frozen. Majority of Chinese people because all the things that's fresh are so easily available. Clayfish, crawfish, yeah. 说一个有冒犯一点的问题，你在说梦话的时候，有时候也会说英文吗？这个问题一点都不冒犯，Leo。我性格很好的，问什么问题都可以。Well, someone asked me like when I dream, do I talk English in my dream? Okay, just so you know, so from time to time I do. Sometimes like when I am in my dream, like I would also talk in English, and sometimes my English in my dream is better than the kind of English I talk in my live stream or daily. Also, like, do you guys also find like for those of you guys like whose first language mother tongue is not English, Don't you find that when you're drunk, you actually speak English better or faster than your normal time? Do you guys feel that? For those of you like who have a second language, okay? Let's say anyone, like if you know a second language, for example, for Chinese people, we know English as our second language, right? For other people, you also know your language, right? So if you have a second language, do you find that when you are drunk, you actually could speak your second language faster or better than when you're sober? Do you guys find that? Type yes if you find that. Type yes if you find that. 这里是英文教室吗？这里不是例，但是你还是可以关注我哦。有很多人说，虽然我不是在教英文，但是我讲话什么来着，好像比英文老师还要好。Yeah, so like do you guys feel the same like when you have a so if you are picking up a second language or you do know how to speak a second language which is not your mother tongue, whenever you drink, when you're a little bit tipsy, when you're drunk, you speak a second language better, faster than you're sober, right? Yeah, 我现在在上海 my friend. I'm in Shanghai, my friend. I'm in Shanghai. I'm 100% Chinese, okay? I'm 100% Chinese, my friend. Even though I speak quite good English, according to many. No, I drink, I slip back to mother tongue. Wait, what's your mother tongue, Louis the Cat? I don't know. Like, is your mother tongue Italian or your mother tongue is English? What is your mother tongue, my friend, Louis the Cat? I'm curious to know because you're Italian, right? So your mother tongue is Italian or English? Curious to know. So neither. What's your mother tongue? Wow, interesting to know. What's your mother tongue then? What's the language you consider yourself to speak best? Yeah, don't tell me Chinese. Yeah, so like for me, whenever I am drunk, if I start to speak English when I was drunk, right? When I'm drunk, like I speak better English than I am sober. So that's literally what happened to me, right? So of course, also in my dream, when I start to speak English, in my dream, I speak better in English. Yeah, when I speak better in Spanish. Interesting to know. Hungarian, German, French, then English by age 7. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Louis the Cat. Wow, you're able to speak Hungarian, German, French, and then English. Wow, you're so talented. You sound so talented. 你唱英文歌应该很好听吧？我唱歌很难听，唱歌不好听。不要说英文歌了，唱歌都不爱听。Yeah, when I sing in Spanish, I meant yeah. Plus a few more, oh, a few more. Oh my God, you're so amazing! Wow, you're amazing. Oh my goodness. Wait, how many languages in total can you speak, Louis the Cat? 7, 9? How many languages in total can you speak? Wow, you're so talented. My goodness. Yeah. Okay, watch stuff on YouTube. Well, I have a YouTube account, my friend, called Truvi, right? Could follow me there. So every day's live stream was recorded and replayed on YouTube. So you guys, if you missed my morning live stream, so I consider yesterday live stream to be quite interesting because we did order like fresh vegetables and live fish and live shrimp, right? And today what we did is like we told a very funny story, well, two stories together, you know, and today's live. So yesterday and today's live stream are considered to be, according to my opinion, to be extra interesting. So for those of you who missed it, definitely go follow me on YouTube or Bilibili. Okay, the account name is called Nitrous 456. Nitrous 456, the same Nitrous plus 456, and you'll be able to see a recording of the live stream today. There, yeah, sure. You're gonna have let me sing to you and followers Sunday. Yeah, sure. I saw you post the videos of yourself singing, my friend Hector. Yeah, beautiful songs, beautiful songs. Yeah, I don't consider myself to be a good singer. Yeah, so that's why like even though karaoke is a very Asian thing, like many Chinese people really like to go to karaoke, that I don't go to karaoke a lot just because I don't like sing because I don't sing very well. You know, my friend, I don't sing very well. So yeah, somehow. Yeah, somehow I just find amazing. Like some people are able to just sing using the flow, right? Using what we call 丹田的 qi, the kind of qi in their 丹田, and use the qi energy to sing louder song. But I was not able to do that. Yeah. Say hi to Si Jiping. Who's that, my friend? Who's that, my friend? Yeah. So not a good singer. Well, I like singing mi ba. What is mi ba? What is mi ba, my friend? Do you guys like to sing, my friend? Do you guys like to sing? Tell me, what do you guys like to sing? In the comments, tell me, do you guys like to sing? What's your favorite song? Or maybe you could tell me what's your favorite song. Do you like to sing? What's your favorite song in the comment area? Guys, let's have more interactions. Let's have more interactions. Do you like to sing? Yeah. Well, do you sing during shower? Do you sing during shower a lot? Do you sing during shower? Yeah. So I don't have the habit of singing during shower because I don't sing actually because I don't consider myself to be very good at singing, so I don't sing a lot. So I don't sing during shower, but my Mr. Right, my Mr. Breakfast Man, my Mr. Important sing a lot during shower. So he usually go to sleep later than me, right? So when I lie in bed already, so he's still out there in the living room. And then later on when I was almost felt like already so sleepy, that was the moment when he went to take a shower, right? So when he was showering, he would like sing so loud, sing so loud, even though the door of bathroom was closed, the door of my bedroom was closed, I could still hear him singing, singing so loud. And he really liked to sing the songs that's very loud kind of songs, right? And also with high key, even though he's not able to reach the high key. However, he really liked to sing those songs with really, really high key and like to just sing this so loud. Like when he's taking a shower, he's like, oh, and then even though the shower room's door was closed, the bathroom's door was closed, high pitch, yes, high pitch, yeah. And the shower rooms was closed, and then also the bedroom door was closed. However, the sound was all the way from shower room door, bathroom door, through the living room, through the bedroom. And I heard him singing. Sometimes the singing was so loud, I have to get up and walk from the bedroom to the living room and then to the bathroom. It was like, hey, why are you singing? Yeah, it's the best place to sing in the shower, right? Yeah, so he really liked to sing while he showered. That's really funny. And sometimes when he's happy, he would after singing, he would actually just run back to the bedroom, even though I have not even put on any clothes, naked, and like just ran into the bedroom and still like, hey, listen to me sing. I feel like really singing really well today. I'm gonna just sing to you, just I was like so sleepy in bed. I was like almost passed out. I almost wanted to sleep, and looking at this naked man out there standing in front of my bed and started to sing a song. Oh, really funny. Yeah, really funny. Yeah. But however, he's not so good at singing, in my opinion. I don't think he's very good at singing. So from time to time that he's what we say, 他总是跑调. How do you say in English? 跑调. He's not able to, sing it correctly. How do you say 跑调啊？跑调英文怎么说啊？同志们，跑调英文怎么说？I don't know how to say 跑调 in English, my friend. Any Chinese friend in the live stream, can you help me how to say 跑调 in English? Yeah. 他唱歌老是跑调。Out of tune, off key. Yeah, he's always off the key. He's always off key. Yeah, out of tune. Yes. Yeah. So he's always off key, but he has this mysterious confidence that he always feel like he's singing so well. It's said that for those of people who are always, off key, like still consider themselves on the key, on key, out of tune, still always feel like they're in the tune. So like whenever he sings, I feel like because I play the piano since the age of 5, right, and it reached 10th grade, which is the highest grade you could reach in piano. So when it comes to the key, like I was definitely more sensitive and more accurate when it comes to the key, right? So I know like whether he's on the key or off key. I know. So why are you saying like how come he lives with you? Wait, is he gay though? No, wait, why do you think he's gay? No, he's not gay at all, my friend. Yeah, so he's always like off key, right? And so whenever he's sing off key, like I could immediately catch it. And for example, the other day, like both of us were singing shape of you, right? How to sing it? How to sing it? How to sing shape of you? Let me play it, okay? Let me play it. Let me see. How to sing the song to play. I'm gonna just show you guys like I'm just going to show you guys like how he sings and how I sing. Okay, I definitely sing very well, right? Shape of you. say the club isn't the best place to find. Well, I'm not good at singing. Okay, yeah. Wait, actually, not the Shape of You. It's the other song. Which song is that? Oh, Perfect. It's so the other day we were singing Perfect, not Shape of You. Yeah. Wait, not Perfect. Which song is that? Yeah. We actually even wrote down the lyrics on the wall. So what's the song? No, basically, we played this, we were singing the song together, and like he was always off key. He was always off key. And then whenever he's off key, I was on the key. So I teach him how to sing on key, and he's like, no, you're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. We always have that like kind of very interesting kind of argument. Yeah. So, okay, guys, it's 9:30. Had a very lovely morning with you guys. It's weekend, it's Saturday. So I hope you guys enjoy the morning time together with me. And thanks so much for joining the live today. Have you guys follow me? If you have not followed me, follow me, please. Okay. Have you guys follow me? Yeah. Have you guys follow me? Yeah, guys, follow me, please. Okay. If you have not followed me, follow me, please. And thank you so much for coming to the live stream today. It's 3:30 your time and it's 9:30 my time. Yeah. So thank you again for people coming to the live stream, and I look forward to seeing you again. I'm thinking like maybe I want to take a day off tomorrow, so maybe there's no live tomorrow. Okay, so I'm thinking that to make it more sustainable, I probably should take one day off. So no guarantee. Okay, depends on the mood. If I'm in good mood, I feel really good. I'm gonna have the live stream tomorrow the same time. If not, I'm not gonna have a live stream tomorrow. Okay. So no guarantee that there's a live stream, but there will be live stream on Monday for sure. Okay, 7:30 to 9:30. It looks like you guys really like me sharing stories, right? If you really like me sharing stories, I'm gonna share more stories in the live stream going forward. And there's so many stories I could share. There are so many interesting, exciting stories that happened to me that I could share with you guys. Okay, yeah, yeah. Take a day, go out and do something fun. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Louis the cat. Yeah. And you two guys have a nice weekend. Have a nice weekend ahead. Okay. Bye bye, my friend. Thank you so much for spend some time with you out of tune but in tune with a hard husband. Thank you, my friend. I really like what you said. Okay. Bye bye, my friend. Goodbye. Bye bye.